China is already number one in the world for mobile payment penetration, with 790 million people expected to be using such payments this year. According to 2018 figures, there were over 60.5 billion mobile payment transactions, with a total volume of 277.4 trillion yuan, or 41.5 trillion US dollars. It's a huge leap for what was once a mostly cash economy. But the digital currency project will take such transformation to another level. The trials aim to cover a broad spectrum of use cases, ranging from retail to transport to salary payment.
It's currently being test piloted in 4 Chinese cities: Shenzhen, Suzhou, Yuan, and Chengdu. And so I think in Suzhou in May, up to 50% of the travel expenses of the state employees in the government personnel will be paid in digital currency in May, just as we speak. And ironically, American franchises such as McDonald's, Starbucks, and Subway have become the first vendors to tender Chinese digital currency.
Mobile transactions like Alipay and WeChat Pay made up 80% of payments made in China in 2019. Screenshots of the digital Yuan app circulating on social media revealed its close similarities to these digital wallets. But experts say the digital yuan is more than just another digital wallet.
Digital yuan. Well, the formal name is actually called the DCEP, Digital Currency and Electronic Payments. It aims at replacing a part of M0 in the Chinese monetary system. So you could imagine, as it stands today, is nothing but a digital form of a paper RMB. So when the central bank issues 100 RMB in M0, say for example, instead of printing the paper bill, now the central bank can issue a digital RMB instead. So DCEP does not really add any additional currency into the system. And because it replaces M0, it does not generate any interest on the money either.
Digital currencies have been around for a while, but what's game-changing about the Chinese project is that this digital currency is backed by a national government.
There are going to be rules and regulations around it. It's going to be pegged one-to-one to the paper renminbi. So effectively, it's the same thing. Basically, what the government's doing is saying, we're going to take some of the paper money that currently exists in the economy, we're going to get rid of it and exchange it for digital currency.
So the Chinese digital currency has the full Chinese state credit backing. So Chinese digital currency cannot be completely decentralized. There has to be a center there, which is the Chinese central bank. So DCEP uses a 2-layer system. The wholesale layer is from the central bank to 8 wholesale banks in China, including Alipay and WeChat Pay. And then the second layer is from these wholesale banks through the mobile app to retail users.
The growth of the crypto sector has sparked concerns that digital coins could be used for money laundering. But experts say virtual currency could also tackle a different type of dirty money, as Chinese authorities found out during the COVID-19 outbreak.
The central bank has collected and recycled billions of cash from Hubei province, particularly from Wuhan, the center of the pandemic. And they try to synthesize the cash and even dispose some of the cash to avoid the future spread of the virus through cash. So this whole process is very costly. But think about if we were all with digital cash or digital yuan, this process is not needed at all. And people, central bank doesn't have to worry about spending the money, also worry about the spread of virus through cash.
One selling point for consumers, they won't need an e-wallet or Chinese bank account in order to use the system.
When you look at One Belt, One Road markets, they have a lot of consumers and small business owners in those markets who also don't necessarily have access to a bank, don't have a way to exchange currency easily, or are in an economy where the value of their home currency might fluctuate quite a bit. And so a lot of these people might be interested in using a digital currency like this because they can control much more easily their business relationship with China, because they're not going to be losing money necessarily as easily based on changes to exchange rates, and it's going to be much cheaper for them to do transactions.
Consequently, The yuan may increasingly be internationalized. Will that challenge the hegemony of the US dollar? Experts are divided.
In the short term, the US dollar is going to remain sort of a haven in tough times. But I think over the longer term, it's very clear that there is going to be pressure to move more towards these state-backed digital currencies, whether it's China's or a handful of others that might end up being created over the next few years.
Eventually, using digital yuan can be considered as a storage of value. And as we can see right now, the US government is printing the money, and you can see the US debt is at the historical high due to the pandemic. So I think eventually with the digital yuan, it can bring the adoption of RMB in the international stage, and that will eventually challenge the US dollar dominance.
However, if we look at the total number today, the international foreign exchange amount for US dollar is dominant. It's at 88% last year, and how much is yuan is only 4.4%. So it's still far from the dominance of the other leading currencies. Even euro has 31% last year. So we see it will be a long way to go to catch up even euro, the close competitor to US dollar.
DCEP itself cannot become a true global currency just because it's a digital currency, unless RMB is recognized as a true global currency. So fundamentally, it is about the financial status of the nation and its currency status globally that'll push this currency towards its usage and its adaptation globally. And so the digital form would just be a different form of its currency. There is nothing more than that.